Photo illustration by the Daily Beast. Forensic detectives and military scientists have embarked on a complex trail of clues that could lead all the way from a quiet city in southwest England to Vladimir Putin. London, shooting from a distance may indicate a killer is experienced. Knife murders are personal, while blunt objects could point to the unplanned motives of fear, desperation, or rage. Even in major international incidents like the one playing out in Salisbury in southwest England this week, an awful lot can be determined from the choice of weapon. Poisoning a Russian double agent exiled in Britain with a lab-made substance? Well, that's usually an assassination ordered by the Kremlin. Britain's police detectives and security services now need to prove it. Scotland Yard's counter-terrorism detectives are deep into a sophisticated version of classic murder weapon analysis with the help of Ministry of Defence biological weapons experts at the Portadown Military Research Facility. This weapon of mass destruction was deployed against a Russian father and his daughter who were spending a leisurely Sunday afternoon in the picturesque cathedral city of Salisbury. The WMD was so powerful that 21 people have been treated for its effects. The Portadown facility has been home to Britain's defence and technology research since reports emerged from First World War battlefields that the Germans had killed 140 British soldiers with chlorine gas in January 1915. Coincidentally, the highly secretive facility is located on the outskirts of Salisbury, just 7 miles from where former Russian military intelligence colonel Sergei Skripal and his daughter, Yulia, were found on Sunday. Samples were being analyzed within hours of the discovery after local police began to feel a physical reaction and officers raced to shut down the areas of contamination. Witnesses reported seeing the victims unconscious, with their eyes rolled back, and foaming at the mouth. Skripal and his daughter were isolated immediately. About 24 hours after the attack, it was determined that they were suffering from some sort of nerve agent in their system. While Skripal has stabilized, his daughter remains in critical condition. Both are being treated in the intensive care unit, along with a police officer who was called to investigate this mysterious illness. Based on their symptoms and the contamination patterns, scientists who spoke to the Daily Beast are convinced this was a nerve agent attack and not radiation exposure, a cyanide attack, or a biological weapon. In these recent cases, the symptoms described like frothing at the mouth, vomiting, convulsions and coma. That's more likely a nerve agent, said Timothy Erickson, chief of medical toxicology at Boston's Brigham and Women's Hospital and faculty at Harvard Medical School. Erickson published a paper last year in the journal Toxicology Communications about the fatal February 2017 attack on Kim Jong-nam, the half-brother of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, which used VX, short for venomous agent X. VX was invented by British biological warfare experts at Portadown, the very same facility where tests are underway this week. Sarin and VX, dangerous neurochemicals that disrupt nerve organ messaging and shut down basic bodily functions, are the most popular of the agents, but others with similar properties do exist. A senior intelligence source told the BBC that it is believed Sarin and VX were not the agents used, posing the question what was used instead and what can that tell us about the source? Around World War II, Nazi scientists synthesized an entire G-class of nerve agents that not only included sarin, but also soman, cyclosarin, and tabun, variants that also debilitate the nervous system. They were discovered accidentally while manufacturing pesticides, which can have similar effects on humans, but they remain extremely difficult to produce. Mark Bishop, a chemical weapons specialist in non-proliferation at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies in Monterey, California, said that producing them requires a technical capacity and scientific know-how that isn't possible in many places. It's tricky, Bishop said. It requires a pretty high level of expertise for producing chemicals. Bishop said it was possible but highly unlikely that the Russians had developed a totally new nerve agent. They're probably making an attempt to create other nerve agents, but it's tough. There's no real incentive to create a new nerve agent, they already work so well. The only motivation to create a new one would be if they wanted them to not be identified as chemicals or to fly under the radar. One option that is unlikely but potentially alarming is that Russia has finally succeeded in its Soviet-era mission to create a new class of nerve agents referred to as Novichoks whose molecules were not detectable through modern lab testing methods. They tried to keep it a secret, and the